The first problem I think we'll run into is on the very first page on the third set of instructions where it says turn on projector. In the lower left column, push the video projector icon. The problem is in the printout, the location of that has changed. Although you can kind of read it says video projector on the printout, it's not yellow like it is on the AMX screen, and it's not in the location shown on the printout. Going to step number 4, it says push the projector is on button. What threw me just for a second is it's a zoomed in, so it doesn't really look like the screen. So that's kind of problematic, I think. It took me a second to find it, but I think if you're harried and trying to figure out what's where, it's easy to kind of miss this. So by following the very first page, I actually was able to get everything to come on. I had to turn on the actual monitor itself here on the desk, but the projector showed what was on the computer screen. I went to YouTube, played a video, the sound was on. I had to change the volume because it was a little loud. Hit the volume button in the lower left-hand part of the AMX screen, turn the volume down. So by following the instructions on page 1, everything seems to be fine. I think the problem might be that nowhere does this say page 1 writ large. It's just in the lower right-hand corner. So when you first pick up these instructions, you've got 4 pages of instructions, and you don't know. It's easy to miss that it's page 1. I'm now on page 2 of the instructions. Page 2 is walking me through how to choose between the projector, the PC and the podium, and maybe a laptop. So I'm going to try and set up my laptop here. So hold on one second. The problem I'm having now on page 2 is I was able to, like I said, easily, my Mac is now displaying on the screen, but I can't figure out, now I got to figure out how would I hook this computer in so I can play the audio from my Mac through the speakers in the room. Let me look at this over and I'll be right back. I can't find an audio cable anywhere but on the Extron jack part where I can plug in the VGA cables. There's an audio 1 and audio 2, looks like in like it was 8mm or whatever those standard computer cables. So I'm kind of assuming if I had that I might be able to get the sound, but I'm not even sure if I brought my PC in how I would play, the PC. So I guess I'm dependent on getting it loaded into the computer that's here. So if you're bringing a Mac in, that's somewhat problematic. I moved on to page 3. The problem, just right away on page 3, is just, again, in yellow on the printout, but on the screen that I'm looking at, it's not yellow. So if I'm kind of in a hurry, I'm flustered, I'm expecting to see this in yellow, and I'm looking around, and I don't see it in yellow, but there it is on the lower left-hand side. But it's also kind of tricky because what I'm looking at on the screen doesn't really even match what's in the printout. So that's just, again, it's inconsistencies between what I'm seeing on the screen and what's in the printout. And I think the problem is on page 3, the first screenshot is after you hit the volume button. Once you hit the volume button, you would actually see the screen as it's printed out. So that's maybe where that inconsistency is coming from. On page 3 now, and I just wanted to attempt to turn on the speakers in the back of the classroom. So on the third item on that page 3, it says, frequently Classroom 2 is booked with Classroom 1. To send Classroom 2 microphone audio to be heard in Classroom 1, push the Classroom 1 speakers icon. So that was turned off. I turned it on, but no sound is coming out of those speakers. So either they're not working right now, but I do remember when we were in here the first time, only the back was on, not the front. So they did work a couple of months ago, but by following these instructions, they're not coming on. Well, let's move on to page 4. We're going to control the screen. So we're going to push lights and screen icon, lights and screen, push the lower screen. Let's see, lower screen, which is, again, Again, it's not matching. I'm looking for kind of a blue icon according to the photograph, but here it's actually in red, so it's not matching again. Screen is lowering. I'm now raising the screen. And now let's shut off the system according to the instructions. So we push the turn system off icon. And first we have to push the orange return to startup icon. Return to startup. Push the turn system off icon. Confirm yes. And the system will turn off. So the instructions are actually working if you follow them this time, but I think there's some room for confusion here.